everybody, and welcome back to Dark 5. I'm your host, Rachel Evans, and I'm really excited to talk to you about murder today and for a lot of days to come. I'm going to get not so intense. I'm going to really bring all of the positive energy to this moment because I have a really special guest. Jason Horton, hi.
Hi, how are you?
How was that? Was that intense?
That was good. I mean, special.
My heart is
wow.
breaking. My heart is like beating out of its chest right now. I just want to say really quickly that, Jason, you have a really fantastic podcast called Ghost Town.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm really excited you're here because I know a lot about murder, but ghosts are kind of my blind spot. So you have a special fascination in the abandoned.
Like abandoned malls.
Why is
abandoned amusement parks. I just love, like, there's a reason it's still there. And I think there's just something really... I don't know. It's there for a reason, and I just love things that have not been excavated or whatever, and seeing what it's like now, and kind of doing a side by side of maybe what it would look like. Urban exploration kind of would fall into that category. I love that. Movie locations.
What got you into that?
You know when you walk by and you see like a plaque, like a historic plaque, I will stop at every single one of them, and I always have, even as a kid, even if I didn't understand the context, and I was like landmarks, historical landmarks, and preserving that has always been an interest and fascination of mine. So places, and Ghost Town is about places and the stuff that's happened at the places. I did an episode of the Wunderland Murders, I'm a little bit older. I know I sound like, I'm almost 20.
Oh
you know what I mean?
God,
I know.
yuck.
I look 6. I understand. I know. But I kind of vaguely remember hearing about them living in New York.
Really?
And then there was a movie came out, the movie Wonderland movie, which I forget who's in it, but
Paul Rudd.
Is it Paul Rudd? He might be. I don't know. I don't know. He might be in it. I don't know. So there was and then in Boogie Nights, do you remember the movie Boogie Nights? It's a sex movie, right?
Yeah, I saw a penis.
Right,
I saw a penis in it.
The sex movie.
Yeah, for sure.
They kind of allude to...
it was a fake one, though. Did you know that?
Yeah. I mean, trust me, I did my homework on the real and fake penises.
I know you do.
That's my other fascination.
Yeah.
Historical landmarks, real fake penises. In Boogie Nights, they kind of reenact the sort of what happened.
The robbery?
The robbery, and Mark Wahlberg's character is that kind of would be like the John Holmes of this story. Yeah, so there's a lot of cultural relevance. Yeah,
this is all clicking to me because I'm looking at those names on the paper. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anybody who is confused or does not know about this, I'm gonna give some backstory, and please interject wherever I am either wrong or you have information that I do not have.
Sure.
Please, I love interruption. So to preface it, a little history before the murder. The Wonderland gang was centered on the occupants of a rented townhouse on Wonderland Avenue. A bunch of names. Ron. Oh, God. I'm going to get these wrong. Lanius. Billy DeVerrell, and Billy's girlfriend, Joy Audrey Goldmiller. Bunch of names, all very easy to read. So this group of people lived in this townhouse, and they were involved in heavy drug use and drug dealing. And on June 29th, 1981, the 4 of them committed a brutal home invasion and armed robbery at Eddie Nash's home, resulting in Nash's bodyguard, Gregory Dials, being shot and injured. Nash suspected that porn star John Holmes had been involved since he had been at his house 3 times on the morning of the attack. Come on! Like, what? Isn't that kind of overkill, literally? Like, if you're going to rob a place, like, don't show up 3 times in the same day, right?
I mean, John Holmes wasn't really known for his...
smarts?
Yeah, he was a pretty bad drug addict, so...
that makes a ton of sense because of the crowd he ran in.
Yeah.
And also, it makes a ton of sense that he wasn't, working with a lot upstairs because after Nash suspected this, he sent his bodyguard, who again was injured but not killed, to go find John Holmes, who was wearing one of Nash's rings. Hey... don't do that. Sell it. Okay? Why am I giving you advice?
Yeah, why are you giving drug advice?
I'm just saying that, like,
fencing,
it just
stolen goods?
seems intuitive that if you steal something and you're walking around in the neighborhood, what are you doing? Anyway, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna victim blame here. That's wrong. That's wrong. You can't do that, Jason.
You'll know that there's no good people involved in this story whatsoever.
That actually makes me feel a lot better because I did for a moment feel really bad that I was victim blaming him.
Everyone here is a pretty, at different levels is...
pretty shitty.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems that way. So, they spotted Holmes walking around wearing one of Nash's rings, and they brought Holmes back. Scott Thorson, who was Liberace's former boyfriend. Interesting.
Drama.
He was in Nash's house to buy drugs, and he claimed he witnessed Holmes being tied to a chair and repeatedly punched in the face until he revealed the attacker's identity. Something about that is so much worse to me than murder. I know categorically it's not. Like, being shot is bad, and don't do it. But something about tying somebody to a chair and just beating the crap out of them is so horrifying to me. The pain, right?
Yeah, it's
extended.
You know,
at what point do you think the pain goes away?
For me, from being from the streets, immediately.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You don't have it?
No.
No fear?
No
All
fear.
All right, cool. I like that. So around 3 a.m., a couple days later, 2 days after the Nash robbery, an unknown number of unidentified men entered the Wunderland Avenue townhouse and bludgeoned to death those 4 guys, and actually, should say...
Yeah.
Is that 2 guys, 2 ladies?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, they were bludgeoned to death.
Well, one was not. One survived.
Susan.
She survived.
Susan survived. Okay, so it says that there was a combination used of... this is pretty graphic. All of this is actually pretty graphic. Yes. But there's a combination of hammers and metal pipes being used to bludgeon these people to death. But Susan survived, but has no recollection of the night.
I think she's also missing a part of her skull.
Yes, they had to surgically, I'm not laughing, it's just, oh my God. They had to surgically remove a part of her skull, which I didn't know that you could just do that. What's interesting to me is that this murder happened at 3 a.m., but no police showed up. Nobody was called until 4 p.m. the next day, even though the neighbors said that they heard intense screaming from the house.
Please don't kill me, and stuff like that. And
yes, please don't kill me, specifically, which is like a great cue to call the police. Their neighbors said that they had a bunch of parties. Yeah. So they weren't sure if that was a party. Never heard a party like that before.
You got to figure in the early 80s is probably a pretty there's a lot of crime. The economy's pretty bad, so things are, especially probably up in Laurel Canyon, a lot of rock and roll happening. So I'm sure they're probably used to the yelling and screaming and
please
hooting
don't murder
and hollering.
Me.
Yeah. That might just be, I don't know, that might just be street lingo. They might not have known.
Yeah, you would know better than I would.
Yeah, I would. I mean.
So is there any? Are there ghosts? Like, is this just like a awful place?
It's just a place where awful things have happened.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Do people live there now? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, for a couple things, it is technically an unsolved crime, and I watched the crime scene footage.
No.
It is. I wish I didn't. In fact, that's how I start the episode on Ghost Town. Is I start it with a little clip of the crime scene, and it is. I watched it before I went to sleep. It was very, very disturbing. It's super brutal, and it's also it's from 1981. But it's really gruesome. I do not suggest watching it.
Oh, so it was like fresh out. You saw blood and stuff.
You see bodies. If you read there's bodies slumped up on the TV. There's a lot of blood.
Sitting up with a hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a mess.
I don't like bludgeoning.
Yeah.
As far as murder goes, probably my least favorite.
Well, I guess maybe you figure like gunshots will be louder.
Cleaner though.
Yeah, way cleaner. So probably Eddie Nash was, technically he says he didn't have anything to do with it, but if you add things up, he probably had everything to do with it.
Yeah.
He probably was like, send these people a message not to fuck with me.
But maybe I'm just being a little sensitive about it, but couldn't you just strangle them?
That takes probably more work.
Yeah, more strength probably, actually. And it also doesn't send as much of a message.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely grosser this way. Also, murder's not good.
Yeah, just to
throw that out there real quick.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, please.
I went there very recently, and I trespassed.
You did?
I went into the garage.
Bad boy, bad boy.
Yeah, I even took a picture. You might find it soon.
Was the air dense?
It's weird because it's right around the corner. There's the Wonderland School. It's just weird because it's called Wonderland, so I really think that really gives it that kind of like sexy, creepy allure. Very, very narrow street. And it still the exterior looks the same, but I went inside the garage. You can look at a bunch of pictures of the police are there. So I stood inside the garage just to kind of like be there and feel it a little bit. Yeah. So it was, I love obviously visiting the as many places as I possibly can without like getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't condone trespassing or anything like that. But
whatever. You can condone trespassing.
I'm winking though.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
He's winking.
Yeah, winking like crazy.
I feel like that's a fine one, you know.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about hammers. Okay, cool.